Hello. Welcome to your Anyhow, this video is about The Hatchet by Gary Paulson. I will also show a time-lapse of the drawing I made for this book, while I'm talking about the book and the art process behind it. Let's get to it, goofers. So on to the drawing. The way I start my art is always different, and depending on how I feel I'll do different things to start, but for this I've decided to do a very rough sketch first. It's just there to give an idea on how it might look or where things go, but keep in mind, this is a rough draft and it looks not as messy at the end. I was honestly struggling trying to make a pose, but I ended up using Arthur Morgan from Red Dead Redemption 2 as a pose reference, LOL. After the more refined sketch is done, I start the linear art. Now the linear art I like to do thin and more line weight afterwards to add depth. Okay, so now about the book. The basic summary of the book is that there is a 14-year-old boy named Brian, and his parents got divorced because his mom was cheating on his dad, and now he is flying in a bush plane over the Canadian woods to visit his dad, but suddenly the pilot has a heart attack and Brian has to pilot the plane for 2 hours or so before the plane runs out of kerosene and crashes into the woods. After that, he has to survive the woods and hope that he will be rescued.
I win.
Now I'm going to be talking about the main character of this story, Brian Robeson. The cool thing about this book is that there is other characters mentioned in the book, but you don't get much dialogue between characters because most of the dialogue comes from Brian's internal thoughts.
The voice is
So most of the book is Brian going through the internal struggle of surviving in nature. You also get to see him grow, develop, and learn to be a better person on the journey. I think my favorite quote from The Hatchet is, "He was alone. In the roaring plane with no pilot, he was alone. Alone." The quote just feels so alone. It's such an emotional and kind of relatable quote. I feel like most people can relate to this feeling in a way. I also really like the book because a connection that I got is that he is almost the opposite of me, but also the same. For example, he was originally a city boy, and became one with nature, and I grew up in the woods head outside, but then moved to a sorta city, LOL. Though I'm still connected to nature and respect to the outdoors, I feel like me and Brian have the same morals: be grateful, respectful, and thoughtful.
approved.
Anyways, back to the drawing. We just do base colors, then add shading and stuff with a multiply layer with bluish purple because the sky's blue and it reflects the sky's color in the shadows. Then add a light yellow in and add blending layer. Also for the background, I just block in some shapes and colors and then just blur it. I'm not good at explaining my art process. But anyways, enjoy this.